you're not looking out the window, you're not paying attention to what's going on, and the subconscious steps in and takes over, well, we don't see our subconscious programs. We don't see them because they're playing while we're thinking. And I go, well, what's the problem? I go, well, 60% or more of the programs are disempowering, self-sabotaging, or limiting beliefs. Well, what does that mean? I go, the moment you start thinking, you start playing the program. But if you have a dysfunctional program, do you see it? I go, no, because it's automatic. The problem is everybody else sees it. And they're going to respond to your program. They're not responding to your conscious mind. They're responding to the habits you acquired. So the problem about that is we're unaware. Here's the number. 95% of the day is the average amount of thinking a person is involved with, which then translates simply to 95% of the day you're running your life with programs that you don't even see.
No matter who we are, what we do, or what goals we set, limiting beliefs often hold us back from reaching our full potential. How we speak to ourselves daily shapes how we perceive everything around us, our lives, circumstances, and even the world itself. Our internal dialogue directly impacts our ability to achieve success and personal growth. So, how can we overcome the negative beliefs that limit us? In this video, Dr. Bruce Lipton offers powerful insights into how we can begin reprogramming our subconscious mind to work in our favor rather than against us. As Lipton explains, the subconscious mind is a vast storehouse of thoughts, memories, and beliefs that exist below our conscious awareness. While our conscious mind is responsible for everyday tasks like emails and meetings, the subconscious influences our long-term habits, emotional responses, and world perceptions. Lipton emphasizes that the subconscious governs up to 95% of our behavior, and many beliefs formed early in life are unconscious. These beliefs can either empower or limit us, with disempowering beliefs holding us back from achieving our goals. One of the most effective ways to reprogram these limiting beliefs is by influencing the subconscious mind during deep sleep or meditative states.
The human brain is a computer. It's not like a computer. It's actually a far better computer than humans have ever created. But it is a computer and still has the same functions and basic operation procedures to it. When the old days when we would buy a computer, you'd go home and you push start and it boots up. And then I say, okay, let's do something. You go, oh, no, I can't do anything. I go, well, you got a brand new computer. The point is, no, first you have to put programs in the computer, and then you can access the computer via the keyboard, which is the creative part of the computer. The brain of a human has two parts to it. We say the mind. Everybody goes, the mind, like there's one mind. I go, well, that's the problem right away. There are two minds. They're interdependent, and they have totally different functions. The latest evolution of the mind is right behind your forehead. It's called the conscious mind. It's the prefrontal cortex, part of the brain lobe right back here. That's the seat of consciousness. That's the seat of your spirituality, in fact. And I said, well, 90% of the brain back here is called the subconscious mind. I go, okay, so what's the difference? The conscious mind is creative. The subconscious mind is programs, just habits, hard drive, okay? Now, the issue about this is that with the conscious mind, we can be creative and do everything we want. But the conscious mind does two things, and one of them is look out your eyes like the windshield of a vehicle, and with wishes and desires, the conscious mind will take us on the road to where we want to go. But the conscious mind can think. I go, so what's the problem? I go, well, thinking is not looking out. Thinking is looking in. So the moment you start thinking, your conscious mind's not paying attention to the world outside here. I go, well, yeah, but what if you're driving the car and you start thinking? I go, well, almost everybody does it anyway. I go, it's kind of interesting because at some point you get so caught up in your head thinking, and then you look out the windshield and realize you haven't paid attention to the road for the last number of minutes, but hey, you're still on the road. Everything seems to be running okay. And I go, no problem, because the subconscious is autopilot. In other words, when the conscious mind is busy, the subconscious programs take over. You know how to drive a car, it's a program. Things that you know how to do, walk, talk, drive the car, do your job, these become habits. Habits are no thinking. Habits are just push the button, play the program. So the idea about that is, well, that's really cool because that makes our life a lot easier than trying to focus on everything in the world when you can just push the button. You can walk without thinking about walking, okay? So there's a great benefit to the subconscious. The The problem that comes up with the subconscious is if you're thinking, you're not looking out the window, you're not paying attention to what's going on, and the subconscious steps in and takes over. And I go, well, what's the point? I go, well, we don't see our subconscious programs. We don't see them because they're playing while we're thinking. And I go, well, what's the problem? I go, well, 60% or more of the programs are disempowering, self-sabotaging, or limiting beliefs. So I go, well, what does that mean? I go, the moment you start thinking, you start playing the program. But if you have a dysfunctional program, do you see it? I go, no, because it's automatic. The problem is everybody else sees it. And they're going to respond to your program. They're not responding to your conscious mind. They're responding to the habits you acquired. So the problem about that is we're unaware, and here's the number, 95% of the day is the average amount of thinking a person is involved with, which then translates simply to 95% of the day you're running your life with programs that you don't even see. But it becomes problematic because when things aren't working, the tendency of an individual is, well, I have great wishes to be happy, successful, loving, and to have all these things. And if it's not working, there's a tendency then to consider yourself the victim and then blame everything around you as why your life's not running right. And the fact was, no, you were the one that was running the program. They were just responding. So it takes us, it says, wait, we are responsible for the life we are living. And the issue about that is, well, what are your programs? Because they're running your life. I go, you don't know what your basic programs are. I go, why? Because the programming of the subconscious started, 3 months before you were born. And it's continuous for 7 years. Your brain in that 7-year period is running at a lower vibration when you put wires on a person's head, EEG. The vibration is called theta, which is just below consciousness. Consciousness is a higher vibe, alpha, and then even higher, beta and gamma. You're running at theta. And I go, well, theta is imagination. I go, yeah, that's what characterizes kids. They live in the real world, the imaginary world at the same time. I always talk about, that great tea party. You pour nothing into the cup, you drink nothing, and that was the best tea you ever had in your life. Or a child riding on a broom, because in the child's mind, theta is imagination. The broom is a horse. I mean, to the kid, it really is. So if the mother says, give me the broom, the child's like not understanding what she's talking about because it's no longer a broom in that state of a child. It's now really a horse in their imagination. The problem? Theta is hypnosis. And I go, so you're in a state of hypnosis for almost 7 years. I go, why? Well, the answer is simple. And it goes, how many rules does it take to be a member of a family? How many rules does it take to be a member of a community? Thousands. I said, well, how are you going to teach an infant? They can't read a book. They can't sit in a classroom. So nature took care of it. Nature said, first 7 years, hypnosis, download, observe those around you, your mother, your father, your siblings, your community. In observing them, you're actually downloading behavior, but other people's behavior. So it becomes interesting is because we get the foundation of the rules by observing others. Now, problem is, if the people you're observing are not living in harmony, but then by definition, you've downloaded disharmony as well. And so all of a sudden it says, well, these are the programs. I go, yeah, 95% of the day, that's where your life is coming from. Do you know these programs? So I ask people, well, tell me what program you got before you were born. Well, obviously, I don't know. Well, wait, you were programmed the whole year from 0 to 1. What programs did you get? No, from 1 to 2, another whole year. I don't know those programs. I go, the biggest problem is most of the fundamental programs that operate our life were downloaded before we were conscious, and we have no awareness of what those programs are. But we're running them 95% of the day. So I stand back and go, wait a minute. Your life is a printout of your programs. So the idea is this. All you have to do is right now is just look at your life and go, the things you like that come into your life, well, they come in because you have programs to acknowledge those things. But this is the one. The things that you desire and you want, but you struggle, you work hard, you put a lot of effort into it. I'm sweating over it. I'm going to make this happen. I'm working really hard to make it happen. I go, why are you working so hard? And the answer is inevitably that destination you're seeking, that destination is not supported by your program. And then you're trying to override the program. Very, very difficult to do.
Visualization is a powerful tool for rewiring the subconscious mind, helping individuals reshape their future by focusing on desired outcomes. When we vividly imagine a specific goal or success, our brain does not differentiate between the imagined experience and reality. Studies have shown that this process can activate the same brain areas as real physical actions. This phenomenon is why athletes, for example, use visualization to enhance their performance. By repeatedly visualizing success, the brain stores these images as reality, which reduces fear and anxiety, making it easier to pursue new endeavors without hesitation. This technique also plays a key role in overcoming self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. When past failures or negative experiences shape our perceptions, the brain tends to predict similar outcomes in the future, often holding us back from trying again. However, consistent visualization of success shifts the subconscious mind to focus on positive possibilities, allowing individuals to approach new challenges confidently. By reprogramming the brain in this way, one can transform one's mental patterns and create a future that aligns with one's aspirations, free from the constraints of past limitations.
For a moment, let's consider a computer. You got a hard drive, you got programs in it. I said, talk to the hard drive and see if you can change the program. And all of a sudden you realize, well, you could talk to your blue in the face. You're not changing that program. I go, aha, you need to do like a record. You have to push a button to make this action. To change your belief system, your programs, you actually have to go through a process to do this. A lot of people say, well, I'll just give myself a good talking to. I'll talk to myself. And then I always laugh because I say, well, who are you talking to? Well, I'm talking to the subconscious. I go, there's nobody in the subconscious. It's a hard drive. It's just got programs. You're not talking to anybody. You're wasting a lot of your time at this point. I say, you want to make a recording, then you have to use the process by which the recordings went in the first place. I go, well, what was that? I go, well, if we have a moment, I'll give you 3 ways of changing the belief systems. And they'll start off with the way you got the belief system in the first place. I say, what was that? Your brain was operating at a lower vibration than consciousness, theta. And theta is hypnosis. So if you do hypnosis, and the easy way is called self-hypnosis, that is the primary way of putting a new program in. I go, well, how do you do self-hypnosis? What's it all about? I say, well, you have to get into theta. And well, theta is just below consciousness. I go, yes, it is. So the simple fact is this. Every night as you go home from a high working day of beta, high vibration, you relax. That's calm consciousness. Alpha calms you down. And the moment you close your eyes and you're drifting off, you disconnected consciousness. But the brain's still functioning, but it's now functioning at the next vibration below consciousness, which is theta. So the brain is in a state of record after you're fallen asleep. So if you put earbuds in or earphones on and play a program, you can start it just before you fall asleep, and you're going to hear what's going on in the program a bit. But the moment you fall asleep, the program is playing directly into the subconscious via hypnosis. It's called self-hypnosis, okay? So you want to change your life. You find a program that supports what you want to change. There's so many self-help programs that you can put into a computer and do this. So basically, it's you find one of those programs, and when you go to bed at night, you put the earbuds in, you fall asleep, program's playing, goes into the subconscious. You have to repeat it a number of times because the period of theta is not very long before you go into the lowest vibration, delta, which is sleep. So every night, there's a period just after you fall asleep where you are capable of doing self-hypnosis. And whatever's playing through those earphones, earbuds, is going straight into the subconscious programming, straight in, okay? So that's number one way of doing it, and that's actually the first way you got programs anyway, okay? Number two is you still downloaded programs after age 7. You learn how to drive a car, play an instrument, ride a bike, whatever you were doing. I said, well, how'd you learn these? He said, because they became habits. I said, habit. You repeat. You play it again and again. You repeat a process. You repeat it. You repeat it. That's how you created a habit. You want a new habit? Then start creating a behavior for a new habit. You know, the New Age wisdom is fake it till you make it. I go, what the hell is that? I go, well, let's say you're not a happy person. I said, well, what if you want to be a happy person? I said, all day long, no matter how unhappy you are, it's not relevant. You say to yourself, I am happy. I am happy. And you repeat it as many times during the day as you can. That's repetition. Repetition is what makes habit. There'll be a day where you'll wake up and you won't even have to say I'm happy because it's been downloaded already. So both the first hypnosis part and the repetition part, they're time. You got to use a lot of time to do that, okay? But those are the two natural ways you got the habits in the first place. And because we're facing an evolutionary upheaval at this time, necessity is the mother of invention. There's a necessity to reprogram faster because time is an element. So there's a new version of psychology called energy psychology. I go, what about it? I go, it's not the conventional cognitive talk therapy that says, oh, let's go over your life and talk about who did what to who, and that person did this, and your friend did that, and whatever. I go, that doesn't help anybody, in my opinion, for the reason is this. You're repeating the same problem that caused you to have a problem to go back over to replay how you got the bad program. It's like you're killing the messenger over the message. Who did it? Who caused this? It's not relevant who caused it. You are here today with the program that you picked up back there. So going backwards, it's not going to help you. You want to go forwards. So energy psychology is interesting because it doesn't give a damn about what your history is. It says, where are you now? Today, what's your issue? Well, we talked about you can see your issue because it's the character of your life. I guess so what's the new energy psychology? It engages, some of them engage something called super learning. What's super learning? I say, a child under 7 is in a state of super learning. I go, what do you mean? All it has to have is one experience to remember it the rest of their lives. Download, boom, instantly. You can engage super learning. Oh, really? I go, yeah. If you've seen brains, almost everybody has, there's a line right down the middle, and we call them left hemisphere, right hemisphere, the two halves of the brain. The two hemispheres have different functions. For example, the left hemisphere is intellectual. Words are the big thing, can do all that. The right hemisphere is emotional, okay? And so I got intellectual, emotional. Under age 7, both hemispheres are integrated. And so every experience you have has an emotional character to it and an intellectual character to it, okay? So the issue is, if you want to change these, the idea is you can bring the hemispheres back into sync, because after age 7, they don't physically separate, they functionally separate. So after age 7, every 2 or 3 hours, your life is coming from one hemisphere or the other hemisphere, and that's like a wave. Sometimes you're more intellectual during the day. Sometimes you're more emotional during the day than intellectual and emotional. So it's a wave. It's called ultraradian wave. And I go, so why is that important? Well, it says you're not integrating both hemispheres after age 7. But if you do an exercise that can integrate those two hemispheres, then you can go back to the super learning character that the kid under 7 has. I go, well, how do you do that? I said, well, it's a physical exercise. You can do it. I go, my right hand, my right arm is controlled by my left hemisphere. My left arm is controlled by my right hemisphere. I say, yeah, but watch what happens if I take my right arm, which is controlled by the left hemisphere, and if I cross the midline, it gets picked up by the other hemisphere because it's now in the zone that is controlled by the right hemisphere. So it's controlled by the left hemisphere, but the moment I cross the midline, it also gets controlled by the other hemisphere. So if you cross both your arms and go something like that, you're integrating both hemispheres. And if you cross your ankles, same thing, okay? It's very calming. This is number one. This is why if people don't pay any attention, when they're relaxing, take a look at their legs. They're usually in a chair and their ankles are crossed. That's part of the integration. That's a calming experience.
Have you ever considered how your past might hold you back from achieving your desired future? Many unknowingly let their past shape their present, allowing their subconscious mind to create predictions based on past experiences. These predictions often keep them trapped in old patterns, preventing them from moving forward. Whether past failures, disappointments, or successes, these experiences create a mental framework that influences how we see the world today. Instead of moving forward with fresh possibilities, we often repeat the same thoughts and behaviors, believing we will stay stuck. The truth is, your past doesn't have to define your future. To create the future you truly desire, you must stop letting it dictate your actions. This means making a conscious decision to break free from the cycle of the past and start focusing on what you really want in life. It's important to understand that while fear of the unknown can paralyze us, excitement about the future can drive us forward. The more you can connect with a clear vision of what you want in the future, the easier it becomes for your brain to recognize opportunities and actions that align with that vision. The key to unlocking your future is releasing control over when it will happen. Instead of focusing on a specific timeline, take consistent, actionable steps toward your goal. By reprogramming your subconscious mind and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desired future, you'll notice the universe bringing opportunities and signs to help you manifest your vision into reality. Trust in the process, and remember, the actions you take today will shape your tomorrow. That's it for today. If you found this message compelling and enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.